Hi Esther, I've printed off your piece of pyrography and your reference picture so I could just hopefully talk you through a few little things that you were having trouble with. Now we'll first of all we'll look at the reference picture. Now with the hair as it is, it's just showing you them in large curls or big blocks, isn't it? You know, when we're actually doing hair, I can see on the image you've transferred over, you've put a lot of dark lines in to show where the hair is, but I mean, I don't know what you were searching for with this piece, but if you're searching for more realism with hair, then hair doesn't have outlines, if you know what I mean. So there's a way still of recovering this piece to be a wonderful piece of art, right? So for example, let's have a look. See this piece here that's sitting on the top. So as you've got your flower sat there, all under here, right up under there, I would take that all dark, because there is a rule of thumb where there's less light getting to an area, then it must go darker. And if you remember that, just keep that in your mind at all times. If there's less light getting to a particular part of my pyrography portrait or my artwork, then it must go darker than the rest. So underneath all these flowers, you know, I would darken off. Then, as we've got this clump here, with a dark line, what you can do is darken up all of this hair underneath it to a darker shade, you know, following a contour, following the shape of the hair. You can darken right up to this line, and that will then show that this piece of hair is actually sat beneath this curl of hair, if you get me. And then then we open up a whole new world of things then. So this piece then could possibly also be sat underneath this top curl. So then we add a darker shade to that, and all this area around the back of the flower there, that all needs to darken up. The furthest point of the hair wants to go darker because we want to push that furthest point. See how they've done it here? Want to push that furthest point deep back, you know, that's our furthest point down. The darker we can go with certain burning strokes, the more we can push things down. Now let's have a little look at your curls. So when you're doing curls, say here's a curl here for example, and we've got like a bend in the curl, you know, it's curling out and then it dips in here and then it comes back out into the light. And now in the middle of the dip here, right in the apex of the dip, will be its darkest point. Now this is where your shading and your blending comes in. You get, say, You can use a medium spray shader, an extra small spray shader, a coarse hair pen, whatever you wanted to use really, and you do your strokes. What I like to do is start in the middle of the curl and work my way on an angle, you know, either side of it. So at its deepest point will be its darkest, and then as we come out of the curl we will blend lighter and lighter, and like I said, dark here and then lighter and lighter as it comes out into the light again. Then when we're doing these curls turning round, you know, we can also add more shading. Now to rescue areas like this curl is sat on top of this one. If you just simply added some dark shading to this piece of hair underneath, that will rescue that area and make this curl look like it's sat on top of this lock of hair. This lock of hair obviously is underneath, so there's certain points here where there is darkness, you know, as it's coming out from underneath this lock. It then blends out. Let me see what else we can do to get you started. Again, what I always try and think the hair in my mind is showing different layers, different tiers of, you know, depth. So when with hair, it's not actually individual lines. I mean, you've already made a great start on that. It's not individual lines, it's flowing shades, so it's blending tones. So from here you would blend really dark at the flower, then you would lighten up, and then if you wanted to start, say here, you know, showing it going into the head, you would then darken off with your blending as you're working down, and you're blending all this area in the shape that it's going down here. You would go dark, and it would then give the illusion, if you went dark, say to a point, and you left a little bit before it drops off, it will add, you know, like a wonderful, like waterfall sort of effect. It'll go to the edge and it'll drop away and it'll go dark into there. So that's just a couple of things to get you started and thinking a little bit more about, you know, how we create hair. It took me a long time, Esther, to get my head around hair. I spent weeks and weeks and weeks studying it and just couldn't get it, and now finally I understand it's not about single strands, it's more about flowing shades, different tonal values, so you can add like wavy curls and dips and all sorts into the hair. So you just open your imagination and just keep working it. You know, as you can tell, you know, you've still got a little way to go with your piece, which is coming along really well. Just keep working it, keep pushing, and you will add more and more depth. The more you keep working a piece, the more depth and realism you'll capture from it. So I hope that little ramble has helped a little, If there is anything else you get stuck with, more than welcome to come and message me and we'll have a chat about it. But it's coming along really well. Just keep blending that hair, you know, just get your medium space shade or your whatever pen you're using, and it's just colouring in and showing the variances, showing the turns, showing the dips, showing the different layers, all by using different shading tones. You know, so some areas will be darker, some will be lighter, and you can create some magical shapes. Like I said, give it a try on the dip I was telling you about. Give it a try there, and you will, underneath the bottom of a curl, that there would be no light getting to there, would there? Because it's underneath the curl. So like you said, all that has to go darker, and then you leave a bit of lighter on top, and before you know it, you can get into a whole different world and different mindset. But it's coming along really well, and like I said, I would just keep pushing at it, and all these flowers keep pushing at the central depth. You know, the darker you go from the middle, bursting out into the light, you will add even more depth to that flower to make it look like it really goes in deep. So I hope that helps. Anyway, have a lovely Christmas, and I will speak to you again. Take care for now. Bye.